He's not super loud. Stop making fun of Rob. He's not super loud.
It's a real condition, Tina.
I have to talk over children.
Evening, everybody. It's Tuesday night. It's about 9 o'clock. Welcome to What's on Joe Mind. And as you can see, we got a full house today. We will be right back with you once you enjoy our kick-ass theme song. Stick around. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to What's on Joe Mind. We are a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. Okay, so everybody's sending, Joe Colton sending links. People are sending comments through the live chat. All is working as it should. Big thanks to our good friend over on Hood Cobra Commander 788, Brian Lower, for giving us the plug tonight. We appreciate that. Lord knows he sends enough of you over. But how is everybody?
Hey, man, we got the best lead-in in sports.
Right. It's the cheers to our night court.
I like it. Ooh, can I be Bull? I want to be Bull.
You can.
All right.
You just have to shave the rest of your head, though.
It's coming.
I mean,
we're not there yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
He is Nostradamus Mark Weber, former head of marketing for the fine G.I. Joe team at Hasbro.
I mean,
we call him the honcho. How are you, Mark?
I mean, if I could really see things coming, I'd still be the head of marketing for G.I.
Well,
Joe.
that was Bull's first name. That was his
Yeah.
actual first name.
Well, that's right. That's right.
Bull Shannon.
I
So
forgot about that.
Nostradamus Mark Weber.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in a night court sense, and less in a we're eliminating your position sense.
Right.
But it's good to be here regardless.
I mean, you're the tallest. You kind of have to be, right?
Yeah. Right. I can see things coming. I just can't get out of the way.
Like ceiling fans.
Not that nimble. but yeah, I didn't. Well, no, I guess it did surprise me. Anyway, good to be here. 2-time junior varsity captain, by the way. Just saying.
All right. Well, I mean, junior varsity captain of what?
Soccer.
Okay. Well, I'd look at it.
Man's game. It's like football without pads.
That's a valid question to ask, man.
Yeah.
I was varsity captain of the trombone section. That doesn't mean nearly as much.
How many people in that trombone section?
Ooh, at our peak?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to count the rest of the low brass instruments? We're probably enough. Probably good 20.
That's pretty good.
I like it. It was big band.
How was Xavier with? Holy smokes! I got a dog barking. I got children running up the stairs.
Got a dog still on camera, no less.
Right. Come here, Emma. She won't come here.
A little ham.
Doesn't like you nearly enough.
Doesn't like me much. No. But I'm a number 4 draft pick, but I'm frequently the only one on this level. So whether you like it or don't like it, you better learn to love it.
Yeah, Andrew Galgan, he understands. He knew the dynamics that were at play.
Oh, now we're talking. More like a power man, I think, than an iron fist.
I ran around screaming "Sweet Christmas" all the time. That's
And
in
a
the
chain
bottom,
belt, tiara.
in the bottom row. He's a host without a show, but he's still reading a lot of comics in the meantime. It's Rack Time, Rob.
Hello. I have to be quiet. Apparently, my mic is just so loud.
It's really loud today.
Yeah, you. I mean, she's.
I don't know why.
It's one of those things. Every so often, StreamYard is weird.
Yeah.
How long is your headphone cord? Because I was thinking maybe you could do the show from the door frame, and it would balance out. Maybe
the funny thing is that my computer is currently telling me that it is not connected to the internet.
do this right now.
Right.
I thought the lightsaber sound effect was a little much, but
It's a very
Should I back out and try and get back in? See if that helps.
Oh, how about you try without the headphones?
it's worth a shot. I know I'm always screaming at you guys to have headphones, but clearly Joe Colton never listens. So
now he's the rebel. He's the bad boy.
Take that.
what do you think, Joe Colton? You're the one who's sensitive to this sort of thing.
I don't know. You only said take that.
All right. Well, anyways, it's time to introduce you.
Yes. Rob doesn't get much of an introduction other than you're being loud.
You're loud. Stop it.
She's hearing for two.
Oh,
That's a
see,
good
that's
point.
better.
She's incredibly uncomfortable, ladies and gentlemen. She's the queen of G.I. Joe cosplay, the co-hostess with the co-mostess. I guess technically now she's the co-hostess with the co-mostess. It's Joe Colton, everyone.
Hi, everybody. I can't fit into any of my G.I. Joe costumes. I tried to put on the Viper the other day.
Oh,
I mean, really, you're
I couldn't get the pants on, couldn't get the shirt on. I
Sweat-
barely got the vest on.
sweatpants Viper is your costume.
that's what I was saying. Among that Apollo Creed-esque introduction, I believe you forgot Empress of the Sweatpants.
Yes, the sweatpants and pajama pants.
Who knew pregnancy would be so fashionable?
Really, I think Diana's got it figured out as to why you are reading Rob's mic hotter than everyone else is. It's mom ears.
Oh,
Ooh.
Mom
probably.
well. And that when you shout at young Mango Habanero because they're getting into stuff like that's what your ears are training for.
Mm-hmm.
And Wes is going to know every time somebody touches the thermostat.
That's it. And in a couple of years, when you say sure to any question, that means I didn't really hear what you said, but it didn't involve knives. Sure.
Or explosives.
Yeah,
Or explosives.
God.
Explosives. Fireworks get in that category quite often.
Yeah, that's true.
So Joe Colton, you were at a show last week.
Yes. Oh my God. I should not have done that show.
Did they bust out the wheelchair for you? What happened?
Almost. We got there on Friday, and I dressed up as pregnant Wanda from Marvel, the TV show WandaVision, and that was comfortable. But I'm on like restrictive activity, so I can only walk like 30 to 45 minutes now, and so I walked around more than 45 minutes, and my back and ankles, my back hurt a lot, my ankles swelled up, I couldn't get my boots off.
Uh-oh.
Well,
was fun.
do we have a photo of that? I think we have a photo of that.
We have a photo of me in the costume early on. Yes.
No, I just mean a photo of you unable to get out of your
Oh,
own
no.
Do we? Let me check and see. Do we?
Did your big toe swell up?
Oh my God. Please don't.
Looks like a phone.
Oh my God.
Oh no, look at it.
I hate you people.
It's huge.
Oh. And then the next day I was like, I'll just like elevate my feet, but I'm now in the third trimester, so I can't really sleep on my back. So I have to sleep on my side, and I couldn't very well keep my feet elevated, but they like de-puffed a little bit. And so I wore running shoes with the Daenerys costume, and that was comfortable, except there was too many people. So I got very exhausted. And
I
so
think we can forgive temporal faux pas in cosplay at this point. Joe
yeah.
Colton.
So then like we
Should have
left,
had the Starbucks cup too.
went eating. I was carrying around an egg with snacks in it. So I kept opening the egg and just like eating that. Cookie jar egg.
Look, Rob, if you're dressed in a Game of Thrones costume, you have a Starbucks cup, that's canon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, it is. And then so my feet swelled up again, and they were really bad on Sunday. And then we had to squeeze my feet into like Star Trek boots, which have an elastic, so it was kind of like they were almost like compression boots. So, but then taking them off, I had to like lay down and have Wes like pull my feet off.
Right, just lay down
engineering, baby,
and just let all the blood get back out of your lower extremities.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, marrying a guy who knows the proper application of the ankle lock was a huge boon.
Yes.
Big plus.
Yes. Although we don't have any more cons, but I am wanting to do the pregnant Dr. Crusher. So it'll be fun.
Matt Rubin notes that be glad Joe is only able to give you the middle finger and not the middle toe, Mark.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's probably it's a gnarled
We're all one size now.
Henrietta McCoy.
Didn't Wes lose the Mid-Atlantic Cruiserweight title to a Dr. Crusher? I think I read that somewhere in the results.
Maybe.
Dr. Crusher.
It was it was so long ago it could have been Ed Strangler Lewis for all we know.
It was Dr. Nick Riviera.
That was it. It was Dr.
You
Jerry
have
Graham.
a postscript to Joe Colton's baby name contest,
Oh,
which I'm going to put on screen.
okay.
I've missed a few episodes and had to go to bed during the last one, so I didn't get to share my baby name stories. I tried to number the kids. Mistake number 1, mistake number 2, and so on. My wife got all pissy about it. Instead, I actually put my daughter's name up in a work bet I had, and I lost. Now my daughter's name is Kara Elizabeth Nagoster Adams. Needless to say, my wife was less than pleased. My daughter has embraced it, though. She actually goes by Ghost now. Anyways, the moral of the story is that they're your kids, so you can call them whatever you want, and they can't do shit about it until they're old enough to legally change it. The What's on Your Mind poet laureate, Nick Adams.
And if you don't believe him, ask Mike and Rob's sister, Stinky.
Stinky.
Yeah. Poor
Funny
thing.
thing is, she didn't get that nickname until I think she was old enough to change it.
Yeah, it was close. That was either late high school or early college or something like that. So, but so that's the postscript to the naming conventions there. We wanted to make sure that you got to see that because we do have our shock announcement for tonight.
Yes.
This is Joe Colton's last episode for a while.
Yeah.
Not forever, mind you, just for a little bit.
Yeah, just for a little bit. I'm getting very tired now. So, like, I worked until like 10 minutes before we got on, and I actually had to take a nap this evening and a nap this afternoon during work. And so I had to work really late.
That's the dream right there.
So, thankfully, my boss is quite understanding, so she's like...
Did you mark off the time in your Outlook calendar as like siesta, 2 to 3:30?
No, I wrote baby appointment.
It's true.
It's not wrong.
Oh.
So yeah, it's getting to the point where Joe Colton is very, very pregnant and asking her to sit in a chair for an hour and a half to 2 hours or however long we sit here and spout nonsense about toys is a little bit of a big ask.
I feel bad, but it gets really hard to sit like this and breathe. So I'm usually like inclined, like I'm on an incline, and then my feet are up in the air.
Breathing's overrated.
Right?
It'd be weird if I had my feet like coming out like this on either side.
It's
We're filming the birth.
Totally different kind of podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are usually only on OnlyFans.
Yeah, we don't have that. That's not.
Or like I said, we're filming
not
the
that
birth.
kind of show.
Yeah, so Joe Colton is taking a leave of absence, and we will certainly have updates and hopefully some snapshots here and there. We sent along several fashion tips before the show started, where we encouraged Joe to take up muumuus.
Yes, I do want to wear one just to know what it looks like.
And we need pictures of that. We need to get the Joe Colton and a Moo. We need to get you like Homer Simpson's fat guy hat too.
Oh my god! If you can find one, I will wear it for you.
Excellent.
I am to the point where like anything that is like not like constricting, I am all for.
Super overweight Homer Simpson cosplay. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen here on What's on Joe Mind.
Don't forget the cloak.
The cloak.
I mean, we're gonna miss Joe, obviously, but I'm already thinking about the glorious return, right?
Oh, so my plan is to have a G.I. Joe costume on her, and then like when I come back, I just like present the baby.
Yeah, and we all sing the Lion King song. It'll be incredible.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, do you have any last words for the populace?
Don't forget about me. I will miss everybody, and I will miss our Friday now Tuesday nights, and like I do look forward to seeing everybody and reading their comments and like engaging fans, and like we don't really have an official JoeCon like we used to, so like this is one of the platforms we get to like engage and talk to everybody and catch up and Mumu Akliasin, oh my god.
So comfy.
Oh, so comfy.
I don't know. I'm gonna miss everybody, and like I'm gonna try not to cry because I'm very emotional today. So
really, that's why I keep stringing this along.
I hate you. It doesn't take much. I'm just gonna get teary eyed.
In fact, why don't I go ahead and I'll get Joe Colton up in the big window. We'll see.
Oh my god, why would you do that? Like now I'm like big and red and blotchy and teary eyed. Oh my god.
That's much better.
Thumbs up.
Now we're getting comments from Rex Ryan.
No.
So just to refresh everybody, approximate due date is
I am due June 3rd. However, I will tell you guys here. I don't know if did I mention so I had gone to the doctor for my because of my difficulties, I go every so often, and her head at 28 weeks was what it should have been at 29 and 5 days, which was 11 inches in circumference. And then her
coming early is what you're saying.
Yeah, she'll probably be early. Or
she's going to be a giant monster 14-pound baby like you were.
Yeah.
Super head too.
So when I was born, I was 12 pounds, 11 ounces, and half that weight was my head. So I'm hoping I don't have a gigantic headed baby, but apparently
you were a bowling ball.
And with a full head of hair. So
no, I've gone to the rack at
the Star Trek pilot.
I've gone to the rack at a bowling alley and picked up a 12 and gone, maybe an 11. So
no.
Your mom must be loving this.
Yeah, she's actually laughing. Like, she's like, "How you feeling?" And I was like,
"How's that?"
It's heavy. It's getting heavy. And she's like, "Oh, you still got a couple months to go." I'm like, "Oh."
New baby name MODOK.
Oh.
Somebody else said that over the weekend when they saw me. They're like, "Wow, you like blew up." Are you sure you don't have MODOK in there? And was like, "Don't you dare!"
I used that line at last year's high school 30th reunion. It didn't go over well. No.
The world does not get the opportunity to make comments like this with just no repercussions very often. So you can't get mad at people for taking advantage of that.
Yeah, it's fine. I asked the lady, I was like, "Is that big for a head?" And she goes, "Oh, sweetie, it's too late to ask that question." I was like, "I just want to know."
No backing out now.
Those fluttering notes. The commentary I'm getting from the mother of three sitting next to me. Oh boy.
Her stomach is or was 2 weeks ago 9 inches like around. So
she's like a barbell.
She's very long. She's over 3 pounds. She was over 3 pounds, or just
So
bursting forward like an alien.
for
I'm
people
just
who
wondering
haven't,
what Nomad's wandering wife is saying.
Joe, for people who haven't been following the entire journey, everybody knows there's weird pregnancy cravings. So
Yeah.
what are a few that you've been through to this point? I remember pickles, crispy pickles.
Yes, they had to be crunchy, crispy pickles. But at the same, like on the same plate, I would have liked pickles, olives, cheese, some popcorn, and after that would be ice cream
Okay.
Any particular
Sounds-
flavor?
and dip, like Ruffles chips with the Ruffles.
So some movie snacks and a nice antipasta.
Right.
Yeah, and then like buttered noodles. I had cravings for butter.
Oh,
Like
that's right.
I've never had buttered noodles before Wes, and Wes grew up on them, and like I could have buttered noodles every day.
That's not everything that you just described sounds like a terrible bag of Jelly Bellies.
Yeah. The other thing that I crave is
Harry
kale.
Potter box.
Is what?
Like, Kale.
Oh,
Ugh.
okay.
I
So you're the
told
one.
I told the OBGYN that I crave like salads, but like kale and spinach, and she's like, well, "That's new, but better than like craving like anchovies." And I was like,
Right.
"Oh, okay."
Oh,
Giving birth to Popeye.
Kale is like, this spinach doesn't taste enough like dirt. Can we dirt this up a little bit? And that's how you get kale. So
Mhm.
ugh. I love spinach. I hate kale.
mhm.
Yeah, I need more iron, so they're like keep eating like all the kale and the steaks you can. Like before in the pregnancy said not a lot of red meat. Now they're like eat a steak, and so like I had steak for breakfast, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a 16-ounce steak with a
Bring
baked
it down.
potato, fully loaded, and then a salad on the side, and I was like, this is so weird.
You're eating like Hitchcock.
Wes was staring at me. He's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "This is delicious." Like,
Am I okay? Fucking great, man.
Can we get some more steak on this salad?
it's so.
Did you just
odd.
put A1 on your salad? That's weird.
No, you're ruining steak like that.
Just saying.
Oh, A1 is kind of gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 57. I don't mind. Little.
So I have to have the steak at least medium well.
Sure.
Matt Rubin asked medium rare. I usually have the medium rare, but now it's like medium well. Yeah, well done. Yeah.
No pink is what you're saying.
Yeah, I can't have pink. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll
yeah.
forget.
The one thing I cannot be around is tuna, and I like
Yeah.
tuna sandwiches or tuna salad. Yeah, no, that is not good. I can smell everything though, like at the con.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Just plan B then?
I never thought about that. Going to a con with enhanced senses. It's probably a terrible thing.
yeah. So in addition to snacks, I also had like a spray bottle in my egg. So I just like, and then I take out a snack.
All right, I'm gonna throw this out there because there's, as I recall, when you're at cons, there's a line to hug Joe Colton, right?
Yeah,
As
no.
a pregnant cosplayer,
Yeah.
was there any "can I touch the belly" stuff going on? Because that's creepy too.
No. So friends of mine have asked, but fans like they just stare at it. Like it will not hurt you.
Like
But
you're
I
a hot
don't
dog.
offer either because she's like, I don't know, I feel like I feel weird and it or she feels weird. I don't know. Like I get a feeling of like, I don't want to be touched.
I think even with pronoun gate, well, in our past, I think you can say we feel weird.
Yeah, we feel weird.
Plural is all right. Yeah. Plural is fine.
Yeah. But so like if Wes were to kiss my belly, that's fine. But if he rubs his beard, she is not a fan of that. I get like really like freaked out and I'm like, ah, like just scream at him. Yeah, it's not a feeling I like.
She responds by pointing her toes, which, as we know, is a
Yeah.
potentially dangerous situation.
I hope she has like I hope she can like lift stuff up with her toes like I can. It'll freak him out. It'll be great.
She'll bring him the remote with her foot.
Yeah.
That's a good trick.
I have
Play
been,
the piano.
I'll tell you guys this. So I'm usually like between 145 and 150, more closer to the 150. I am like 186.
And that has got to be the high watermark by an incredible amount, yes?
Yes, I've the only other time I gained that much weight was when I was leaving my previous relationship and I had reached 176. So now I'm 186. I've never been like I get tired like walking down a flight of stairs. I also walk down hills like I'm about to shit myself. So because I have to counterbalance the angle.
Now,
The last time I was 186, I think I was 18 years old.
yeah, it was like junior year for me, but
Right, I wasn't even done growing yet.
now I want to make sure people understand this if they've never met him. Wes is ripped, right? But Wes is not incredibly tall. So
I love that that's her reaction.
is there a chance that you might become the alpha in this house?
Yep.
Yeah. You're number one. With a bullet.
Was, man, come on.
With a bullet and a
She already
stake.
was.
Dear God. I do have heartburn, Andrew. I have heartburn and indigestion at the same time.
They normally do go together.
Yeah, I've never had this before. It's a lot. Like very, very like a lot.
Right. It's look, I'm not dismissing the wrist lock by any means here, but I think he's perfectly on board with you being in charge. I think he always was. That's why you two are together. He understands that this chick's just gonna have to be in charge of stuff, and I'm just gonna chip it when I'm asked.
I'm not sure he forecast being surpassed in the weight category, but he loves you still, and that's what's important.
All right, Joe Colton. We got a guest waiting in the wings,
Yes, let's get him on.
so let's ask you for your final words here, Joe Colton.
Are you trying to make me cry again? I started crying before.
Yes, you have. Now, I mean, you said you started to say goodbye, and then we went off into a half-hour baby story.
Am I staying on for this one?
No, I
think
thought you were leaving so you could get some rest.
We're setting you free.
Okay. Thank you everybody for all the years of support. I love my co-hosts, and I love all of you guys for being with us and sticking with us. And I will be back. Not to worry. I will be gone for several months, but I will tune in when I can if I'm feeding the baby. I'll jump in.
Well, you can watch with the computer on the side. It's okay.
Yes. We have to set up a way that I can like lay down and not be straining. So
It's called a tablet.
tomato. So
Oh my God.
I'm gonna miss everybody. So thank you guys very much. I love everybody, and I will be back.
All right, Joe Colton. We love you too. Be safe. Keep us posted.
Yes,
Put pictures up on the Facebook page.
I will. I'll send you guys my next sonogram in a couple weeks. That way you can share it with the group here if they want to see.
And we have links with the registry too. Do you want us to share those?
Yes, you can share those. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
you told me to give them to you, so I'm listening to you.
we'll get the once. I'll put a fancy graphic together with it. We'll get them up.
Okay.
It'll have an explosion in the background.
Oh my goodness. A baby just coming through the
Mike's good at that.
Explosion.
Big Modoc baby.
That's it. Joe, we will see you in a couple months with your +1.
Yes. Yes.
Outstanding.
All
Have a
right.
good night, everybody. Much love.
Colton.
Thank you very much for all the support.
Be well.
Will do. Thank you. Bye, guys.
All
Man,
right.
I had money on her last word being a curse.
Well, I mean, we didn't want to do her that way, Mark. Come on now.
Seemed like a safe bet.
Right. Well, now that Joe is gone, we can bring our guest on board. He was off taking care of stuff, so it worked very well that we got a window that we didn't have any overlap. But joining us this evening, he is the founder of Whiskey Jack Toys, and the guy with all the answers as to the Legends of the Hidden Force Kickstarter that is active now on Kickstarter. Darren Howlett is with us, ladies and gentlemen.
Here I am. How you doing? Oh no, please.
Yeah.
Our Canadian quotient is returned.
We used to have this thing I think we actually still have it, but we used to have this thing in Canada growing up. It's called CanCon, where 30% of all content on television, on radio, on anything had to be Canadian in origin. Because if they didn't make rules like that, it would have just been nothing but U.S. programming, U.S. radio, U.S. everything, and there'd be none of us making it anywhere. So I feel like I'm the CanCon tonight.
That's right. And when I put this image of Joe Colton's foot back up, we hit that 33%.
Yeah, 5% foot, 5 toes, and Darren.
Right?
Nice.
We're right in there, right in there at that point.
Yeah.
Darren, it's been a bit. I understand you're out at the office tonight.
I am. It's been a pretty crazy couple of months for me. I too have a podcast. Had it for 12 years with another guy. His name's John, and he and I used to own a pasta shop together. And we've had this podcast. We've had a couple of businesses together, and we both worked at this restaurant through COVID. I had retired from restaurant everything, and and then he called me and he's like, "Hey, I know you're just doing toys now, but if you come down here and work for a bit, I'm pretty sure they'll sell us this restaurant." And I'm like, "What?" And this is a restaurant that I worked at as a kid. It's easily the most prestigious and esteemed restaurant in our area, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" And so I came down and here we are. 3 months ago, we bought this restaurant. So that's what I do now. And this is my very cramped, noisy little office. But this was the only space I could do it today. So
that's all right, because as the evening goes on, we're sure to hear more from Mark's background of
Yeah.
Well, the door behind
me. Walk by the door. We'll get the dog.
Yeah, the door behind me. I've already had 2 of our servers come in and say, "Am I interrupting anything?" And before I came on, I'm like, "Almost," but we'll see.
That'll be great. No, that'll be great.
All right.
Wave to them.
If someone comes in, they have to introduce themselves.
Sure, I'll make them.
Otherwise, it'd just be rude.
Yeah. All right.
Right. No answers unless they introduce themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's but yeah, I like I said, I had this sort of pulled me out of retirement. I'd left regular work and was just working on toys, and I was doing very well for myself. I didn't have a big company, but I was getting enough where I was happy and covering and paying bills and enjoying life. And then COVID hit. And, as it originated out of China, a lot of our pursuits and endeavors, especially in the smaller factories in China, got shut down so fast. And I kind of lost everything there. I had quite a bit invested over there and learned some lessons for sure. Things I would never do again, and kinds of over leveraging myself or giving too much faith to the process instead of being hands-on. But yeah, and so ever since I lost everything, I took a couple minutes to take a beat and was like, is this it? Is that me throwing in the towel, or is that just me getting started now that I've learned? So yeah, I took a big deep breath and said, I guess I'm starting from scratch. And here we are 3 or 4 years later, me starting from scratch.
Like the cliches say, man, it's not important how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get back up.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, here I am back up again.
Couple minutes, we're going to roll through a protracted community calendar. We'll get some news, and then we'll get right into Legends of the Hidden Force.
Sounds good.
But prepare yourself for the mushroom-induced portion of the program.
I think I went back in time.
All righty then.
We have the best fans.
That's awesome. I wasn't expecting psychedelic Rob. I don't know if those are bad mushrooms or good mushrooms.
Both. They are both at the same time. But thanks to AbsorbVids for another round of community calendar intros. But coming up this weekend, starting on the 31st, it's the Pop Culture Power Show in Stafford, Texas, just outside of Houston. Big Joe show this year. Larry Hama, Greg Berger, Arthur Burkhart, Zach Hoffman, Morgan Lofting, Andrew Wildman will all be in attendance. We got Roy Thomas up on the placard too, because hey, Roy Thomas. But you can visit their site for tickets and pricing information. They do have a special segment set aside where they inform us that parking is free.
Oh, yes.
As it is with all the greatest of toy shows. Parking is free. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, that is, again, outside of Houston, starting on the 31st through the rest of the weekend. Next up, same thing this weekend, starting the 31st at Steel City Con outside of Pittsburgh at the Monroeville Convention Center. You can get more ticket pricing info at steelcitycon.com. You see there, we've got the guests listed off to the side. All kinds of TV folks and comic book folks there. I got Kari Payton there in red. That's a G.I. Joe guy for us, kind of. He was Ripcord on Renegades. That's enough. Man's got an Emmy. Not for Ripcord, but whatever.
Was it for Cyborg?
If you're out in no, it's Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If you're out in Matt Rubin's part of the foot world, check out Steel City Con. Again, that's tickets sold in advance, so be sure to check out steelcitycon.com.
Come early and watch MJF cut a scathing promo on Richard Dreyfuss. It's going to be amazing.
I'll show you a big fish. Anyways,
right.
He and Nancy Cartwright are going to do a mixed tag team against Richard Dreyfuss and
Dolph Lundgren. No,
and George Wendt. And of course, also this weekend, we hadn't talked about it because C2E2 is a show that gets mainstream media. So I figured, what do they need us for? But we figured we'd better tell you it's happening anyway. That's in Chicago, c2e2.com. It's got comics and guests and stuff. It's got that Picasso at the Honorable Richard M. Daley Plaza. So be sure to get yourself out to Chicago. Check out C2E2.
It's just to the left of the office of the Cook County Assessor.
That's right. Next to Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago's headquarters.
I promised, this was sent to us by Jeff Butler, and I promised him a low-effort tile in this week's presentation. So Jeff Butler will be there on Friday. Viper Scout will be there on Saturday. See, What's on Joe Mind Chicago runs deep. We won't be there.
No.
Nobody asks us to go anywhere anymore.
No.
That's right. That con's too busy. No one goes there anymore.
Thanks, Yogi.
That's right.
It's got comics and guests and stuff, though.
Fair enough.
Anyways.
Joe Madden will be there.
He ain't doing nothing.
He's got free time.
And on the 1st, on Saturday. That's Saturday. This is the Mark Weber Con.
Yeah.
Pro Expo at Tiverton, Rhode Island. from 11 to 6. 10 a.m. gets you you can get in at 10 with the VIP entry.
Ooh,
So I get in at 10.
That's right.
yeah.
You say, "Don't you know who I am?"
They'll be dragging me out, and I'll be screaming Ron's name. Ron, tell him, Ron.
I'm the honcho. The honcho.
Ron Brunette in the back.
This is egregious.
That is the Long Play Family and Sports Complex. You can see there they will have special guest Ron Rudad in attendance. Ticket info is available at retroexpos.com. No sign of Andre Dawson or Gary Carter.
No, they're in eternal baseball.
But the parking situation unknown, but presumed to be free. But so be sure to check that out. Maybe you'll see the honcho. If you see the honcho, ask him to take pictures because he loves that shit.
Just don't park too close to Ron because he'll ding you. He doesn't like that.
Hey. Apparently, it's also close to a comedian statue. So,
That's the rumor.
Bob Newhart.
He's on the phone.
Yeah.
Sean Russell notes, again, free parking at Mark's house.
Yeah, for one. First come, first serve.
Look, it's just because it's for one, just because it's limited edition.
If you're not charging, it's free.
Yeah, VIP entry for one person, whoever's first. And then you got to back out if Mrs. Weber or I need to go, because that's the kind of driveway it is. So
Barrington PD may have some words for you.
Right.
Saturday is grocery day.
They don't take no guff, the Barrington PD, let me tell you.
And then lastly, for this community calendar, up in Chicago again on the 8th, that is a week from Saturday, celebrate the release of After Action Report Volume 2 with our friends Josh Egebein and Roger Taft, who co-wrote that tome. We had them on the show back when they were in Kentucky and their Wi-Fi was terrible.
Right.
So they were in and out and in and out and in and out again.
We had them on the show like 30 or 40 times, as I recall.
30 or 40 times in that episode. They will have copies available at the signing. They will be at Toy de Jour in Chicago, and you can see the address there, 2532 West Furleton. That is from 1 to 4 p.m. Toy de Jour, I think, is open until 7, but I believe Roger and Josh will only be there until 4. Also in attendance, Josh Blaylock, Tim Seeley, and Sam Wells from Devil's Due. Another Jeff Butler approved show.
You got to add him to the list. Tim Seeley and Jeff Butler.
Blaylock, Tim Seeley, Sam Wells, and Jeff Butler.
There we go.
What's on Joe Mind superfan, Jeff Butler. And I don't know. I won't be able to get to that one. I got to work that day. So I don't know if Rack Time Rob's going or not.
It's too far.
You're a bum. Get the whole Easter weekend off, and you're not going any. You're not going to do nothing with it.
I'll have that whole week off. I'll be completely atrophied.
You're going to be up that way at the folks' house. You're not going to swing out less than an hour to Toy de Jour. But
it's an hour both ways, right? Like, ooh.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Just saying.
Welcome, Keith O'Donnell. That's a new name. So welcome to the party. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Squire O'Donnell.
Welcome to the party, pal.
That's what we got for community calendar. We had more last week, but we're truncating it. I don't want to cut too much into Darren's time. So here we go.
The 405, it's Jam! She knows. It's Rack Time Rob. I'm Joe Mind, brother. Your host, my dear Darren.
And they just keep getting weirder.
I love that one because it's got the little chicken nugget in the corner.
Yeah, that made me laugh. I couldn't not laugh at that.
He's pretty excited to be here.
The next one's going to be like a Bergman flick. It's going to.
So if you've got a show that you want us to plug, send it to the address that you saw on the screen there. What's on joemind@gmail.com. Be happy to do so as much as time allows. Like I said, we get too many more of these. We're going to have to start spinning off community calendar into its own thing.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's never a complaint, right? I'll do it if that's what you want to do, but keep sending them in. We will be the voice of the voiceless. or the verbalization of 1,000 Facebook pages. Either way.
Our community calendar only show would be better than some Joe podcasts I know.
We'll probably get more hits than this one.
Just saying.
Time for the news.
Hey man, I could get 10,000 people subscribed to our community calendar only podcast. It ain't that hard.
Yeah. Anyways,
Just saying.
so I think it's $4.99 per 100.
Pretty much.
Anyways,
Cheaper by the dozen.
we're not bitter or anything. That's what's important.
Hey man, I'm just speaking the truth.
YouTube's a crap game, Darren. It's a crap game. Gonna get us kicked off the platform.
We'll get there.
Anyways, first news item.
Dude.
Be sure to check out on Facebook Heavy Armor Toys. They had more sketches go up this week. I did not see them in enough time to get them in here because I'm kind of a bum. But these are part of the prototypes that they've got of the G.I. Joe green shirt. This week there was also the U.S. Army trooper and the MP. So Josh and company have a lot going on Heavy Armor Toys. Be sure to check them out. Join the group on Facebook. Get all the updates for yourself. These will be available soon, and he'll have all the details there when it happens. Next news item. We're booking through the actual segments today.
Let's go.
We wasted a lot of time on that Joe Colton, who was so inconsiderate as to have a baby.
I know, right?
Joe Colton, indeed.
9 months. Like, come on. And then she's like, it'll probably come early. Like, oh, yeah.
Sure, whatever.
Come on.
We gave a little bit of a plug back at Community Calendar, but After Action Report's been busy. They are also on Kickstarter right now. Is funding The Command Files, the third entry of the After Action Report series. This is all about the character guide that we saw Roger and Greg Augustin here to plug a couple weeks ago. That is funding through April 15th at 9:05 a.m. So tax time. Do your taxes, use your refund, pledge The Command Files. Sounds good, right? It's right there.
Do it.
Out for you in just plain steps. You can go back, catch our episode a couple weeks ago if you want to get all the details on The Command Files. Just remember, time is ticking away. We'll probably talk to them again before that campaign is up. But yeah, get it done. Go pledge. They're almost at 100%. So get yourself on board.
I believe they crossed 20,000 today. Yeah.
Yeah. $25,000 goal. They're at 20. You know what? I'll pull it up. We'll get an up to the minute count.
Hey, you keep going. I'll pull it up.
Oh,
It's too late. I've got it pulled up. It's 17 days left. Back 200 backers, $20,168 out of 25. So that is over 80% of the way there with lots of time left to go. Pledge with confidence.
yes.
Figure six pack. This is the SNL weekend update part now. I mean, tell me you don't watch the show without telling me you don't watch the show.
We should do their bit where we write jokes the other ones have to read. That's a good bit. It's a really good bit.
It is a good bit.
Because Michael Che keeps trying to get Colin Jost killed.
I know, right?
But neither of us are well known enough or funny enough to make that work.
Yeah.
We would just get each other killed.
Michael Che made Colin Jost say a joke lampooning the murder of Martin Luther King Jr. once.
He's a master.
You can't even fathom that being on television. So it's awesome when Jost is like, oh, come on. And then has to read it. We'll get there.
So someday. We're only a few million subscribers away from that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We'll do that on our last show. It'll be a good show, I promise.
Right before we go into hiding.
That's it.
Next news item.
Adieu.
More from Kickstarter. It's creating G.I. Joe Volume 11.
11.
I've missed out on the first 10, but I know lots of you haven't. That just got started too. Just a couple days ago, about halfway home. So be sure to check that one out. Funding through the 18th of the month at 3 a.m. for all you night owls.
Ooh.
So again, lots of great pre-production pictures and information there. Not in any particular order, but what the heck? You take the stuff as it comes. Lots of neat pictures to look at. Either way, on Kickstarter, check it out. Do your taxes, make your pledge. Next news item.
Boo boo.
A little tease from Super 7. Picture of a subway car with a Cobra logo on it. Have no idea what's up with this. People are freaking out. Your guess, Darren. Darren, what is this?
It looks pretty urban. I would say something Alley Viper related. That's what it looks like to me.
Right time, Rob.
They are recreating the opening theme to Welcome Back, Kotter, but replacing the Sweat Hogs with Dreadnoks.
Can't wait to get Hoshak.
I am buying that set. Okay, I am in on that. I haven't bought a whole lot of Super 7, but that will get my money.
Welcome back.
Mark Weber.
I'm gonna read into the No Joes and say whatever it is, it's an all Cobra line. Maybe not the whole line forever.
A wave.
At least, like a wave of complete Cobras, all Cobras.
I have a feeling it's going to be another specialty set like the Pyramid of Darkness one where they had the robot, or maybe the sled with the dogs. So I'm trying to go through those old mini series and figure out if there are any scenes on a subway.
At the end of Pyramid of Darkness, where they're all in disguise.
Oh, Destro's the construction worker and
Yeah.
nurse and Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
There we
The
go.
bag lady. Yeah.
There we go.
I think you had me at Baroness Nurse. I'm good.
Mark Weber.
Hello,
Good.
nurse.
I'm good.
Stop it. Stop it. So there we go. That we'll take that as the official What's on Joe Mind pick for what that is. If it's wrong, blame Darren.
I'm used to that. That's usually everybody's default.
The restaurant business, of course it is.
Yeah, everything's your fault. You're in the restaurant business.
It's like it's the manager. Next news item.
Doo-doo.
Hey, look, it's a box.
Yay!
Yeah, we kind of knew this
It's
was
from
coming.
Walmart.
Again, everybody can stop freaking out about a box now. That would be great. Be fantastic. But if you want to see it for yourself, check out the G.I. Joe Classified Brasil Facebook group. It's right there. You can see we like the photo. A lot of the other folks reporting on this haven't liked the photo. We report what we like. Only what we like. So yeah, it's a box with a toy in it that we knew was coming, or had a good idea was coming. So this kind of puts it out into the ether. Good job. Well done, everyone.
I cannot wait to take this off the shelf, open it up, and see the repackaged Stone Cold Steve Austin figure on the inside. Oh no, nobody would send Austin back, right? I'm gonna get like Test. That's who I'll get. Yeah.
Tiger Force Test.
The body Donnas. How'd that happen?
You're gonna get Andy Kaufman.
Could there be a worse surprise than an unexpected Dr. Tom Pritchard? I don't think so.
Yeah. Doink. Tiger Force Doink? That doesn't even make sense.
Look, man, Doink, when they first premiered Doink was a great heel.
Yeah.
Then when they made Doink the kid-friendly face, that's when Doink needed to go away.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Next news item.
Doo-doo.
Yes, that's right. We're at the end of the news. Chunky Tank Kitty is brought to you by the G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast. Stay tuned for more Chunky Tank Kitty and Meowler Tank news coming soon.
Ooh.
As we promised. Coming soon.
That's what we call a tease.
It is. So we will let's let's move on from the news.
Hey,
All right. Be back with you in just a second. Take a quick word from our sponsors at Kokomo Toys.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
There we go. So my apologies to everybody in the live chat tonight. I know we cooked through that pretty quick. Normally we like to take a leisurely stroll. We wanted to make sure that we got Darren at least an hour to talk about his thing. So we needed to shoot through community calendar and news tonight. There wasn't a whole lot going on. People are freaking out about a box. So I just yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
You can tell it's a slow news week when people are freaking out about a box.
Yeah.
With an Akiko figure inside.
Thank
you, Andrew.
There we go.
She lives.
She's alive, though. Can't beat that. I accidentally clicked on half a conversation there. My bad. Anyways, so Darren.
Yeah.
Tell us about Legends of the Hidden Force.
Sure. Sorry, I'm just going to say I just flew in late last night. I am getting a little tired. I'm good. But yeah, we launched this at Toylanta this weekend, so it was fun. Nice to finally have some, like, it's weird when you work on something for 3 years and you keep wondering, have we gone too far in our own direction? Have we completely veered off of what fandom's going to support or like or enjoy? And you just sort of hunker down, and for 3 years to say, no, I'm going to trust that we're going the right direction here and people will like it. So it was really validating over this weekend at Toylanta to have everybody stopping by and full of compliments and excitement. So yeah, Hidden Force. There it is. There's the beginning. 3 years ago, we got it under.
Firefly says it's about to not be a slow news week. This Kickstarter has so much. So right there, you got a fan right there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So I'm gonna go back. I don't know how far. I really don't know. You see, I'm figuring here I've got more of a platform for time than I would on some of the other podcasts that we've been set up with. But so years and years and years ago, I was very intent on, I knew at like 16, 17 that I would never be content with my life unless I made some action figures. So I over and over and over again, as a mental exercise, would create a toy line, think about all the details, think about all the characters, think about how I'd do this, how I'd market it, and then I'd trash it. And then I'd do another one, and I'd do another one. And I did this for I was a weirdo kid, I guess, but yeah, I did it quite a bit. And I've probably got about 20 that I've stuck with. So this is the first of many, but yeah, this is Hidden Force, Legends of the Hidden Force. It's about Shinobi, the blue ninja you see right in the front there. It's mostly his story. He's got some close friends that are with him in his journey, but yeah, do you want me to go right into the sort of the mythology of it?
Yes, that was where I was going to start you off. Give us the skeleton of the story here.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so the basis of the story is there is this village, a walled community, sort of always surrounded by mist. It's in a deep forest. It's impossible to get to. And these people have been isolated their whole lives. This ninja clan, or it was one ninja clan that split into three once they started to have different ideals. And they've been told by their leader, by the community civic leader, Obake, who's the one there with the big looming figure in green there, that they have to protect this flower. There's this flower that only grows in their city, Harai. And this flower can imbue somewhat mystical properties if harvested right or consumed right. And they he has them believing that the outside world wants this and will do anything to get it. So they've all trained as ninja their entire life, fearing the outside world. And it's Shinobi that convinces his friends that they need to see what's on the outside world and see what's up. So that's the basis of the story, without giving away any major plot points. But yeah. Yeah.
So what I've got, I've got the outline of the campaign itself, and we can talk more about the story as we go through that. But starting off, we got Series 1 here, and this is what you are pledging towards to unlock the campaign on the whole. So the initial funding goal, $50,000.
That's right,
and that will unlock these 6 figures.
Yeah.
And Darren, give us the rundown on who we've got in the lineup here of Series 1.
Sure. Okay. The first one is Shinobi, the one in blue. He's our main character, and he and his couple of friends, like I said, they're the ones that are going to actually leave the walled city and venture off into the dangerous wooded area beyond. And then we have a whole bunch of Obake's agents. He is the law there, so his people or his crew sort of they have the lay of the land, they have the rule of the roost. So with Shinobi, there's Tarashi, one of his best friends. That's the one in the sort of tiger camo or tiger stripes. Tarashi is the only Caucasian out of the group. He's actually one of the only Caucasians in that city, and for some reason nobody can remember why. And that's not just us explaining that away. There's very much a reason why. And then there's Kusa. Kusa is the grass style ninja there, the one next to him. So that makes up the first of the 3, or the first 3 of the 5 friends. And then you have Fury. And Fury is one of Obake's ninja, and he is definitely like inspired by the Chinese Monkey King, which is also in Japan, but he's a little more deranged. He's not the all-powerful and noble. He's more of a feral, wild sort of monkey.
More concentrating on the monkey part.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely unhinged. He's not right in the head. Raiju, the one next to him, the one with the sort of gradient purpley blue over black. Raiju is he's just angry with the world. He's angry with everything. He idolizes Obake and wishes Obake paid more attention to him, but Obake has very little interest in him, and so Raiju sees him almost like a father figure and is desperate for his attention, but Obake just sees him as a lesser rate ninja. And then the Kianchi. The Kianchi are the Obake's sort of almost militant or police style ninja that patrol the city streets at night, and, enforcing curfew and making sure that nobody leaves the walled city.
Excellent. And these guys, they all unlock at 50,000, but you are not, like, if you make that pledge and that's the level that we're at, you're not stuck just getting one of each, correct?
That's right. No, you can pick and choose. You can if there's only 2 or 3 you like, that's fine. If there's one that you like a lot but you want to go hard on it, that's fine too. So, I mean, before we get into the others, Matt and Chad Matted, as they're known, the Wonder Twins, right. They're absolutely amazing at design, absolutely amazing. And we knew that we had a lot that we wanted to cover, and a lot of limitations with the amount of bodies that we could make in our first waves. And so they were we decided, let's make these as distinct as possible. Let's go, but at the same time, we did, again, what I was saying, we didn't know if people were going to be into the story that we've woven. And if that's the case, we didn't want to be stuck, just withering on the vine because people weren't into the story. So we were like, well, let's appeal to the people that buy other toys and make sure that there's Easter eggs throughout where they look at the toy at its face value and say, yeah, I'm not into the story, but I'll use it for that. Like, I mean, let's be honest, Shinobi could easily pass as ninja for another faction that we're all very familiar with, with that blue. Yeah.
Holonet 1 asks, is this a 3 3/4 inch O-ring figure? And yeah, it is.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing we've added 2 things. We've added swivel wrists. The wrists pop out, easily swivel, and then the head is it's on your standard ball joint as a classic, say, vintage GI Joe, but it's a peg, and then it's a modern style head on top. So they're pop and swap heads.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so then Tarashi there's a reason that he's kind of tiger striped. You could easily use him maybe if you pop and swap the head as a Tiger Force ninja, maybe. And Kusa, we definitely saw, we were like, well, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow are ninjas and whatever, not commandos, but why doesn't Stalker have a sort of a ninja form, just if that's your play style, if that's where you're going. We were like, we can easily sub these in for other characters if you wanted to.
Right. There's a lot of overlap with the GI Joe mythology and ninja stuff. So if that's what you're planning to use that for,
right,
you're certainly getting lots of raw material to do that with.
Yeah, and I mean, we're not outright saying that that's what these things are, but we're just saying if that's who you are and that's what you want to do, we're making it easy for you to integrate these into your world instead of having to adopt ours.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we've got a closer look at Shinobi here.
Yeah.
With the important tiers, if you wanted to pledge for 1 figure, that is a $22 pledge. If you wanted to get a 3-figure set, and that's any 3 of the unlocked, that is $60.
Yeah.
If you want to get just the complete set, that is $120.
Yeah.
But the loadout here is pretty simple. 2 swords and a backpack, and what's that little dumbbell?
It's just a handle that's held in between, so he can use them as 2 swords, or he can use them as I'm Matt's the one that named all this stuff. I believe it's called a ninjato, where it's a 2-ended sword.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You can catch them all it up,
and it clips onto the backpack there. I see.
That's right. Yes, it does.
There we go. But Bart asks, "Am I late? I just got back from seeing Shazam." Hey, man,
our condolences.
We will start over. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a close look at Shinobi there, and we'll just take a look at each one in the wave.
Sure.
Like one. I don't get the whole wave because you guys can go to the page. We got a link down below for it. You can check that out after we're done here tonight.
Yeah.
But then if we get past that wave 1 offering, we get past the 50,000 plateau.
Mm-hmm.
At 60,000, we got kind of a bonus set here with some extra gear.
Yeah, that's right. We wanted to do adventure packs. We actually really, in the beginning, we wanted to do some small vehicles and some accessory kits and we were just trying to find all these different ways to make some very affordable, easy entry play items or display items. And we sort of had to sacrifice all of them and just make these adventure packs, which we are very happy with. We really like them because we find it, or we think it's very affordable to get into being able to create little scenarios and actually play. For instance, in this one, it may seem somewhat random, but like there is a training dummy, which is has extra hands that are swappable with your figures that you've bought. If you've bought a figure, the head is also swappable. It's the armored head. It's going to have a unique deco on it, of course. Okay. Yeah, and then it comes with some farming tools and some cloth gear. And the idea is that you can either dress up the dummy as a scarecrow or whatever, something in the background, your choice, dealer's choice, or there's enough gear there where you can dress up your character as a villager, the farmer, fisherman, what have you, and being able to stealthily approach, say, one of the clans, the other rival clans, temples or dojos, or just making a quick getaway by, dressing up as part of the background. So, yeah.
He's just here to steal some corn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So all the adventure packs are, because we needed them to double as sort of accessory kits, they'll all come with a few weapons. They'll all come with an extra set of hands in a different way that you weren't able to get them before, and they'll all come with a new head, just to add a little extra to the whatever figure it is that you bought, or figures.
I often have nightmares about ninjas with mannequin hands.
Mhm.
That's a big one on my list. Mark, you look like you have a question.
I have one, but I'm waiting until the figure comes up that I want to ask it about.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
So I was going to ask it earlier, and I thought, you know what, I'll hang on to it. I bet there'll be a better time, and I think I'm going to be right. And that don't happen that often. So
At 70,000, we get this 3-pack of the Kion.
Tianchi.
Thank you,
Tianchi.
the Kianchi
Yeah.
warriors there, and like again, they unlock at 50,000 individually.
That's
But
right.
what this does is at 70,000, it means as part of the all-in package, there's 3 of these guys.
That's right.
Right there.
And they're gonna have unique packaging where all 3 are in the package. So it's, for those that collect carded that are interested, this is the only time and way we're gonna offer a 3-pack of them. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know you were putting in on packaging, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, we've got packaging we're really excited about. I mean, to be totally honest, we've been running with the same packaging. We would be plastering it everywhere. We've been running with the same packaging for probably 2 years internally, and we were just literally just about to pay for because there's some of it is art that we don't own. And we were just about to pay for it. And then Mark Pennington did some work for us on the next line after this. And he just saw it and he's like, I can do a better version of that. And we're like, oh, okay. So he's putting his hand to it right now. So we'll have the packaging within the next week, the new packaging image. So yeah.
That sounds like a challenge, Mark Pennington.
Yeah. So we're excited about that.
Bart asks, is there a redhead figure? I hear redheads don't feel pain.
Hoji is the trickster. He is one of Obake's agents, and he's redhead.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
that's
coming
what I'm
up.
talking about. And they just keep pumping anesthesia.
Oh, there he
into
is.
them, and it doesn't do anything.
We got series 2.
Yeah, series 2. So Master Nay, Nay meaning rat. So I don't know if you can maybe make some inferences there, his color scheme, his what have you, to some other toy line. Sensei Tori, also very kind of familiar in design for those of you that watch, Karate Kid or what have you. Master Shujin. Shujin is he is the reluctant master right now. As the story picks up in the first day, whatever the storytelling vehicle is, whether it's the first panel, whether it's the first page, whatever it is that we end up doing, the whole story begins with Reikun's death. He was the previous master, and Shujin is sort of pushed into that position, but he would rather just be their swordsmith. He's the one that works all of the forge. Next to him is Obake. Obake is the main antagonist of this series. He is very dramatic and theatrical. That's why you get the kabuki makeup on him. But yeah, he's very much a tyrant, but not in a sense that the general populace realize it. Again, it's mostly Shinobi and his friends that are starting to smell something rotten in Denmark and want to do something about it. And then next to him is his major domo, Hoji. Like I say, Hoji is a trickster. He just loves and revels in confusing everybody and sowing seeds of confusion and then reaping the benefits of it. And then next is the Hebi-gi, which are it's the ceremonial snakes. They're the ceremonial guard. So in one thing I probably should have gone into, there's 3 clans here. There's 3 clans. There's Aka clan, there's Sabo clan, and Seichi clan. The Sabo clan is mostly Shinobi and his friends, Master Shujin, a few other sort of reasonable people. Aka clan is Obake and all the nefarious looking ones. They're the ruling clan. And then there's Seichi clan, which they consider themselves neutral. They just want a peaceful life. So the Habiji at the end there, that we kind of were looking at a snake motif, but they are the ceremonial ninjas for the neutral clan. Yeah, I know we're throwing lots of words at you.
It's okay. Ruben said redheads don't feel pain unless sunburn.
Right? I mean, I'm already pulling for Obake because he makes me look tan, and that's hard to do.
Firefly credits you as Ninja Force as it should have been.
Yeah, well, there's so much to that. So I'm going to take it back a bit. A couple of years ago, when I said we worked on a different toy line together, it was a not so legitimate toy line that kind of worked in the gray area, and that's about as much I'm going to say right now. But at that time, we had intentions of releasing a whole bunch of ninjas in that sort of gray area. We had some fantastic designs, and when everything was sort of came to an end there, I was just like, these designs are just too good. Like, we can't just let these just not exist. They have to come out in some way. And that's where Matt and I went back and said, okay, well, let's take all these designs we had and start putting them together and making a story. So about half the characters that are out right now are designs. They were made in 2014, 2015. And then, we've built the story around them and fleshed it out.
Michael Kleppinger asks, will the packaging match the same size as original G.I. Joe figures?
Yep.
All right. There you go. Easy answer. We like those.
How about, and if this is out of bounds, go ahead and tell me that.
Sure.
File cards, I assume, or are those not important anymore?
Oh, no. Yeah. I mean, we don't want to do exactly file cards because we don't really want to incur the wrath of Hasbro.
Yeah.
And I know that they, but we have a version. Yeah. There's a bio on the back of the package of some sort. And then there's much deeper, richer bios on the website. And then hopefully we can, like I said, whether this is however the story gets told, hopefully you'll get to know the characters better that way too.
The series 2 tiers, Master Obake shows up at 80 grand, Master Nay at 85, Hoji at 90, Tori at 95, Shujin at 100, and the Hebi Gi at 105.
That's right.
So that's very small increments there, just 5,000 per. But you guys are making pretty good economy on the parts that you're using.
That's right.
Like
somebody already commented that they're like, why didn't you add any female characters? And we have 4 female characters waiting in the wing right off the bat. But that is the second that we get this going, then we can actually bring them into physical form because we just can't do the tooling yet. But we're working. We're excited to get there.
No, I think you guys have been really smart with your use of color in between the figures to help, make them look radically different from each other, even if there is some part sharing going on.
Right. Yeah. And there is a lot of part reusage, but that is what we set out to do. We were saying everyone has to distinctly look visually different from every other figure so that people feel that there's value. There's value. You're getting different characters.
And I like it too because it's most of the toy game today is adult collectors, but at their core they are toys. They all I mean everything in this vein is a toy, and I like the idea of if this was on the pegs right now, and kids were seeing it. There are kids who would buy the Tiger Ninja because they like tigers, right?
Yeah.
Or somebody who would buy the green one because the kid just likes green. Right, like that's important. Like that,
and to that end, we actually did some. We did limited, sort of focus groups with kids, and we revised quite a bit. Like Shinobi's original coloring was all darks, and then the one we got the feedback, and they're like, he's not easily identifiable whether he's good or bad. So we added some lighter colors to him just to brighten him up a bit. And then immediately they, so we are making these with kids in mind. These aren't just adults. And to that end, if you actually, I'm sure you've seen by now, but the weapons, you actually have to build the weapons. You have to forge them yourself. That's why there's sort of emphasis on the forge. And all the pieces are compatible with Lego. And we did that on purpose. So because every single kid in the world owns some Lego, and we were just like, well, what if this was already, you can just add this to your toy box as it exists and make more things, So the rod is a Lego rod, and all the pieces are compatible. So
the only risk there, I'm just saying, if Lego goes under,
right.
you are hosed, Darren.
We're so screwed,
right?
Compatible with Mega Blocks. We got to get our own
yeah.
Berserk says, I hope these get made. These are awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We hope they get made too.
Right. That's a new name. So welcome to the chat. We appreciate you. And then series 2, our adventure pack is The Forge.
That's right. So yeah, basically what I was saying before, you're going to get a weapons rack. You're going to get all of those extra weapons, the forging kit and the little quench for that. And then you're going to get some armored hands, some armored bracers that slip onto the wrists, armored padding, and armored head. So you can really get one guy geared up for battle. The other idea was that, some people might want to buy a second figure of any particular figure they're liking. This is just another way to individualize them by buying these extra pieces that have been decoed out. So, yeah. And
we've got, again, I apologize. I know these don't translate too well to our smaller screen, but you can always go to the Kickstarter page with the link down below. Check everything out there that is straight off of that page. So if you've got any detail questions, just check it out there, and you'll probably be able to answer whatever question you got.
Yeah.
And then there again, the 3-pack is the Hobby Gi, which unlocks 130,000.
That's right.
So good deal there. I like those guys.
Yeah, we sort of, they have that snake motif, but we also made sure that we were bringing in that, coils. We were sort of inspired by, Serpentor's faction in the comics. That's where that started, and then it sort of branched out from there. But it doesn't really show, but they have white fangs on their mask and white fangs on their hands as well.
Oh, nice. I can kind of see them on the hands.
Yeah. We kind of like that one too.
And then we go to series 3, which is the Wave of Mysteries.
Yeah, and so from a storytelling perspective, each one of these characters has a different, absolutely not of the same caliber or related to each other in any way, but each one just so happened to have enough of a mystery about them that when it's discovered, it will change things. And that's why we sort of collected them together, being that we were like, oh, we've got all these characters that fall into that same sort of banner. So Monomi is the fourth out of the group of 5 friends of Shinobis. He's the silent ninja. He cannot speak. And yes, that may have been inspired elsewhere, but it's totally different.
Right. That'll never work.
Right.
I don't say it. You lost me feeling from that guy.
Yeah, he'll talk in the movie though.
Yeah, right. Kamainu is where we wanted to save money on paint apps, but no, it's not. But that's what I thought everybody was going to think right away. He's just stone colored. He's just gray. He's 2-tone gray. And again, that has a very obvious reason when you get into the story, but it's not something I want to give away right here.
That way then.
Yeah, and then there's Satori, the guy that dresses up like an ape. The myth or the story of the Satori ape in Japanese culture is that there's a ape man that is telepathic and can tell your future, and so he believes that by dressing up like an ape, it heightens his telepathic powers because he's not entirely there. Tatsu is the leader of the Kionshi, the guys that we saw in Wave 1, those troopers. He is their trainer and their leader. He used to be one of the Hebiji. That's why he's got a lot of the same decoration on him. A little bit different, of course, but yeah, and he's one of Obake's favorite warriors. He's sort of the favored one, whereas Raiju is the shunned one. 10 is a shapeshifter, and in this particular instance, he is mimicking Shinobi, and he will be mimicking others in later waves, again, tied to the story. And then the Jiangshi are the sort of vampire zombies that they're in the forest outside Hirai, and there's been myths and tales of Jiangshi throughout Japan and China for hundreds of years, and these are those mythical creatures, or someone would have you believe that they are. So, yeah.
Right, and I specifically had to go with Satori here because guy dressed as Big Monkey.
Yeah.
But Monomi,
So, you know what? The origin of this is that I told Matt, I was like, we need I would really like it if you could do the Chinese Monkey King, because that is also a character in Japan, like a stock character in Japan. And he's like, he turned around, he's like this. And I said, oh my God, that is an amazing figure. And he will end up, like, I knew that we were going to use the character of Satori way down the line, but then when he showed that, I'm like, that is Satori, and we're going to use him right away. So, yeah.
But Monomi unlocks at 140K. You get Tatsu at 150, Komainu at 150K. He's a big fan of ELO's Turn to Stone because he did. 10 shows up at 155, which doesn't make any sense from a math perspective.
No.
Satori here shows up at 160, and Jiangshi at 165. So, folks, work to do to get to 160K because we need Monkey Guy and his big stick. Without saying, it's just not acceptable to not get to 160,000.
Read minds and carry a big stick. Okay.
Perfect. What else do you need from a figure? Nothing.
Right.
So then we move into our adventure pack number 3.
Yeah.
Unlocks at 175, and then we get a variant at 180. Surprise pack.
So the for this adventure, the clan Aka, that's Obake's clan. This is some of their equipment. And the idea is that you can outfit 3 of the Kionshi or Jiangshi. It's up to you with it. And it just so happens that right after that, we have a 3-pack of them coming up. But so you get some wings in there. You get some throwing daggers with a belt. You get I think that's the one with the hands that have the climbing claws molded into them. And then there's a cape, zip line, essentially all sort of implements of a surprise attack. You could just, fall in and on upon somebody.
Michael Johnson, who I believe is the world's fastest man, asks, are we going to get malleable plastics like the new O-Ring Joes?
They're going to be an ABS and PVC blend, but not super soft. The hands are going to be a little softer because we need them to accommodate the rod shape for that Lego, even though it's been a little etched down. But and then just to be able to accept the paint, the heads will be a tiny bit softer than the rest of the body, because if you make it a tiny bit softer, and also to get that pop. The ability to pop the heads off and back and forth,
right?
By doing that, but it also accepts paint way better. That's what we've found in the little testing that we've done.
Yeah, we tried making the neck softer and the head harder, and it didn't work.
Oh yeah,
that was a bad one.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, we're not talking about that one.
I lost a couple of 25th anniversary Joes that way. Oh
yeah,
look.
you had a neck pop. That's not a good thing.
Right.
Diana Davis notes that we all want men with soft hands.
Oh, well, these are just for you then. Perfect.
So tell us too. There's a Night Shadow variant. What's that all about?
Yeah. So in the context of the storyline, so they all the flower that I said that was supposed to be this flower that can save the world, or that Obake would have everybody believe everyone's after. It actually gives them a little bit of strength, gives some of them a little bit of insight, heightens their senses. It depends on the person. It affects each one of them differently. No two are affected the same way. And the Night Shadow variant is when in the forging process, they've actually dipped the weapons in that quenching liquid that had that elixir in it. So these weapons actually give them a little bit of extra power, and they'll be painted out differently.
Awesome. So we get the regular surprise attack.
Yeah.
75,000, and then the Night Shadow surprise attack at 180,000. So they're not really surprised at all. We know that they're coming.
Yeah.
At those levels.
That's right.
So I don't know. That's a tough sell at that point. Not too surprising.
Yeah. Yeah. We may have to rename it.
Call it a. Anyways, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Sure.
Then we're going to get Rack Time Rob starts to talk again, and then we'll just never get out of here.
He's just minding his Black Bolt voice.
Right. He's taking it all in. And then we've got the 3-pack of Vampire Zombie Ninjas here.
That's right.
Unlocking at 190,000.
Yeah.
And all this is still very that's a very makeable goal.
Yeah.
At 190,000. That's
we sort of looked at the last 10 of our peers and just saw where they all ended up. And I don't necessarily anticipate that we'll get to where they did, but we just thought, let's have the goals there that they hit just to make sure,
right.
Not scrambling.
I remember the long ago, we were recording. The show wasn't live, but we were recording live with the folks at Boss Fight.
Oh yeah.
During the very first Vitruvian Hacks.
That was an exciting Kickstarter to watch. I think we all were.
It was. And again, we were live with them watching it all.
Oh wow.
There was we don't have another stretch goal, so we're actually working on that while we're talking to you.
I remember that actually. Not that specific moment, but I remember them coming back in and saying, we just beat all the things we expected. We need a few minutes to come up with more things. Yeah.
It's a nice problem to have, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's help Darren have that problem.
Oh, that'd be great.
We have some ideas towards the end as well.
Yeah, good.
Series 4.
These guys probably look a little familiar.
They're the champions.
So the first 5 of those 6, they within the context of the story, they left Harai, and they're called the champions. They left Harai, this is the mystical city, and returned. And since they've returned, they haven't talked to anybody. This is sort of as the story is happening. They fought in what is just referred to as the Western War. They were gone for a few years and then they came back. But yeah, and in the Western War, they were all commandos that started off as ninjas. Yeah, there you go.
And
so we have
champions. They keep fighting until the end.
So they until the end. So there's Daito. Daito is the sword master. There is Knockout. Knockout has some cyber elements to him that, again, I don't want to give away story elements right here, but we will find out why and who and how and where. It becomes big later on. Badger is again only a couple of these have sort of Western names because they got those names in the war, the nicknames. But Badger is a master tactician and sort of their leader. Omen is the somewhat clairvoyant ninja. He is yeah, he has a connection with the spirit world. And then there's Kudan, the enforcer of Aka clan. And then lastly is the Jayu. And the Jayu are a clan of ninja that are masterless. They've purposely all left, and they will refuse to follow anyone, which means they end up ineptly quite often getting caught up in side tasks and not really focusing on what they should be doing. But yeah, I digress.
The Torpedo 83 asks, as a student of history and proud American of Japanese ancestry, I ask, how are you sourcing your cultural research?
Carefully, as best we can. And if anyone out there would care to participate or correct us on anything, we are absolutely willing to listen and take notes, because we want this to be authentic. And we've talked to as many people as we can, but that doesn't mean we've talked to a lot of people. And authentic in the state of it's a toy, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But yeah, absolutely. If there's somebody that they think that we should talk to, or that they have more knowledge themselves, I'm sorry I missed their name, by all means contact us. We'd love to have more information and more everything. Yeah, and then after series 4, I don't know if you want to go into that at all, but
well, we've got real
quick,
quick,
yeah, sure.
The tiers for them. We've got Daito at 200, Knockout at 205, Omen at 210, Kudan at 215, Badger at 220, and GU show up at 225. How could you not show Kudan?
Yeah,
just the big old road pig bruiser fullback of the line. How do you not love this guy?
Yeah,
with his skunk hair,
right?
But
he's great. We've had a lot of people say that already too, which I was really surprised with. I'm particularly fond of Omen, but a lot of people in this wave, they really like Kudan.
And we've got our Champions Training Day Adventure Pack at 235.
That's right. And so they're same thing. You're getting a little bit of a training dummy and some extra swords, bow, arrows. You're getting extra head, swappable hands. Yeah. And the same, we haven't really got into it, but there's a multi-piece dynamic stand that comes in these, where you can pose your characters in, jumping poses or attack lunges, sort of get some height, get them up off the ground. So, yeah.
And then, of course, 245 as part of the all-in packages. We have our 3-pack of GU looking confused, and probably a little roadmap where they can be asking one another questions.
What are we doing?
Yeah, but as I said, after that, things, because as the story progresses, that Shinobi and his friends are going to leave the city, and so they're going to start encountering things that aren't necessarily ninja. So that's when we have 2 other parties that they'll be introduced to over time, and that also includes some of the female figures. But yeah, that's where we go.
And then we've got our higher level goals. 300,000 as we're start looking at comics, 500,000 animation, $1 million film, and then Whiskey Jack Toys purchase of What's on Joe Mind, and Mike Myers Guam at 10 million.
That's right.
That is
right.
something to shoot for.
I completely forgot it. I forgot about that last one. I'm so glad that you put that back in. I completely forgot about that.
Hashtag Guambats. We're gonna make this work.
Yeah. So in very loosey goosey, I have comics. If we hit 300,000, we're going to do 4 comics. I'm not going to go into all the details there because I know it's not likely. I just wanted people to know that we're looking ahead. Animation. I'm very lucky enough to have gone to school with somebody that has a major animation studio, and I talked to him very briefly. He gave me a price, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to throw that in there. And film, I don't know. I know some people in film, they could put something together for an X amount of dollar budget. So I just threw those in there for fun, but not fun, like kind of wink, wink. But yeah, that would actually happen if that's where we got. So yeah.
Right. I want to read for Crazy Monkey Guy if that comes. I want to at least read for it.
Make sure you sound like Roddy McDowell.
I'm not saying that I'm owed anything, but I want to read for Crazy Monkey Guy.
Absolutely.
All right.
I think you got fury in you. Yeah,
I do. I need or the guy in the monkey suit. That guy too.
Satori.
That he'd be fine too. That would be all right.
All right.
And of course, what we're really shooting for is Guam.
Right. Forgot
Right.
Guam. Right.
Guam, huh?
That's what we're after here. Look, man, I'll take what I can get at this point. Take what I can get. And that's what we got for that. If anybody's got any just super pressing questions that we haven't answered to this point, I would say now is the time to throw those up in the live chat.
Sure.
Mark Weber, what's
All
up?
right, I'm going to butcher his name because he was 4 waves ago.
Yeah.
But the less fortunate son, the
Yeah,
black
Raiju.
Yes.
Yeah.
My favorite by far, because I'm a sucker for that gradient fade.
Oh yeah.
But I know it's sometimes it's really hard to pull off.
Yeah.
So what was can you share your thinking on that, and are you worried at all about the factory application of it, because it looks
absolutely
fantastic?
We are. So the one that we tested, we ended up using like airbrush and water slide decal, which is obviously not how it's going to be done in China. But when we did run it by the people that we're working with at the factory, they seemed confident that they're able to replicate it. So, but yeah, I don't know if that's how they're going to approach it.
I mean, like I said before, they're all unique, which is great and important, I think. But that guy just leaps off the screen for me. I think he's incredible. So I don't know if would be considered a major player among the whole pantheon of guys. Yeah. But if he's not, he might be your sleeper. I think he's really got something.
Yeah, I really like him as well. And he's sort of been left to the wayside as the others got developed. And he doesn't actually attract a lot of attention whenever we show them off. But I think it's because the others are all much more, they're brighter, whereas his is all, subdued. But yeah, I really like the character as well, not just the figure. Yeah.
No, I like, and from what you've talked about, I think there's a ton of development potential there. So that's my guy, even more than the redhead.
All right.
Rack Time Rob, you got a favorite?
I do like what is his name there?
Small font.
Right.
Yeah. I do like him. He did kind of jump out to me right from the start there.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And I realized that throwing all these names that the majority of our audience aren't going to be able to pronounce or remember. I mean, we were trying to give them unique names as well that didn't sound like one another. But honestly, I think we were talking about, there was one time when we were floating, giving them all Western names, and then it just didn't seem right. And reminded of what Larry Hama said at one point, just, don't write down to your audience, write up. And if they're interested, they'll look it up. And so we were like, well, let's hope that people either can put up with the names that they can't pronounce, or they look into what they all mean. And, we'll see.
Right. I mean, it's one of those where English is a primarily Germanic language. So we're used to rolling through consonants and things like that.
Right.
You hit us with a bunch of vowels. So we're going to sound dumb saying this for a while.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, they weren't all rolling off my tongue either. But as we developed them, then they just became those characters. Those names all meant,
Of course, I am in for Satori.
Awesome.
Monkey guy with a stick, man. What else?
Yeah. How can you not like that?
Darren, from a legal standpoint,
Sure.
There is some history to the term shinobi. From a video game perspective, is that
right.
I'm sure you've done your research on that. Is that something?
Yeah,
you have access to?
Exactly. Then we found that the name was too generic to enforce because shinobi just means ninja. So, but yeah, we were worried about that at first, for sure. And that was one of the first things that we did was we know how to make sure that our main character's name isn't in jeopardy. But yeah.
Sir James notes that the Gray Ninja is his favorite, happens to be the last figure. So let's go. Well, you guys can all help Sir James out here.
Yeah.
Be sure to share the the Kickstarter, give that website out, throw that in all your toy groups, not just your Joe groups, because we know you're into other stuff too. We've
been sort of picking through Facebook, and we found that there's quite a few Ninja fan groups and other toy genres that have been open to us promoting our stuff in there. So yeah.
Right. I mean, obviously the crossover here, especially with the figure construction, is pretty obvious. G.I. Joe's always been heavily influenced by ninja culture on the one side of it, regardless. So, I mean, it's a natural fit there, but just take this everywhere you can think of.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. And also, even if with the Hidden Force, like I said, the Hidden Force is, we have many, many, many series planned after that, if this warrants. But we also have multiple other toy lines coming out too, and they're all going to be, they're not necessarily inhabiting the same world, but they definitely all have the same body construction. I mean, the idea is to get the most use out of each part that we can. So when things are made, they're made for the library of the toy lines that we'll be doing over time. So everything will be compatible, everything will be swappable, weapons will hold in each line, etc., etc.
And remember, the goal here, $10 million.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
10 million.
If we get to 10 million, there is, I know you joke about it, but you would definitely get a lot of that. You would get so much of that, because I hadn't even considered that as a stretch goal or anything.
Look, hey, if you buy me a camera guy, then hey, we're
all right.
I don't need to get to Guam, but I paid help would go a long way. Production value would go a long way.
Yeah. I think there's a misunderstanding. People think we put on Kickstarter things that we want to help. I think we only put stuff on that's guaranteed to fund. Right? We got a streak that we like. So
you're carefully vetted.
Yeah, we like Kickstarters that get funded. So
look,
it's a done deal.
Kickstarters get funded because of the What's on Joe Mind.
Yeah,
right.
It's a done deal.
You're the Kickstarter bump.
This is why this is his first stop. This is why.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
Spoiler. I don't want to lose the suspense because that's part of the fun of it. But spoiler alert, you just got funded.
Woo! Thanks.
Sorry.
So we're 2 days in. This just launched on Sunday. $50,000 initial goal. You're already past $25,000.
Yeah.
So
and that's also with a travel day in there. So we didn't really get to promote for a day or hit all the venues we wanted to. And so we're pretty. I don't want to say we're confident because, well, we're not, but we're really happy with where it started. And we hope to keep momentum going. And
we make jokes about it. We try to we take a lot of credit in fun. This isn't
a
about
lot.
This
a shocking amount of credit we take.
Yeah.
We're a 2-bit slime show, but we have the best fans, and our fans talk stuff up, and our fans get the word out. So that's really who this is hinging on, is the people who are watching us, whether you're live, whether you're catching us afterwards, whether you're listening to us on Podbean later on down the road. That's where this thing gets done, and that's where our folks really step up big in getting the word out. So please continue to do that for us on this project.
Yeah, and I'll just put this other too. We're still really small, and people are only just getting interested. So we're very available, and I'm not saying that we're going to be big and unavailable at sometimes. But anybody wants to talk to me or us about this in any way, you can just email me at whiskeyjacktoys@gmail.com. Or hit us up on the Facebook or the either the Legends of Hidden Force Facebook or on Whiskey Jack Toys Facebook. I'm the guy that's answering all of that. So
all right,
that's incredible. And as a side bonus, you just got signed up for the Eternal Baseball newsletter. So
perfect.
There you go.
You're excited about that.
Wonderful.
You got a favorite team?
You will.
Blue Jays. Blue Jays.
Sure.
By the way, someone mentioned earlier, and this is with all love to Joe Colton, but you probably should plug the damn restaurant, right?
Should I?
I think so.
Do I want people knowing what my restaurant is?
I mean, you just gave them your email address. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Depends, Darren. If you want to, just feel free to plug
Up
whatever
to
you want.
you. No pressure.
Okay. Well, do any of the three of you get to the west coast of Canada at all?
No.
So
I get to Oregon. That's west.
Well, that's pretty close.
How far north am I going?
I know I could mention it, but I just know that the majority of the audience isn't going to be there, or they're not going to be in my neck of the woods.
This is how we grow our Canadian audience.
We have brought them an hour and 45 minutes of what they wanted to see.
Sure. Okay. So
you get a couple of minutes to talk about whatever you want.
Sure. I live on Vancouver Island. It's let's see, miles. It would be about 300 miles long. The island. It's a very large island. It's bigger than some of your states. It's just off Vancouver, and my restaurant's dead smack in the middle of it on the coast, but middle of the island. It's a long island. The restaurant's called Locals, and it's a high-end seafood, and I don't know. I'm reluctant to say it's just seafood. Like, yeah, it's everything.
That's a specialty, but it is equally proficient in mainland fare.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now we have both lamb and venison on the menu that I can't stop eating. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you stopping for an hour and 40 minutes.
Well, thanks. I absolutely. I've been working on this for years. I'm really excited for the next few weeks to get to talk about it to everybody. And thanks for letting me be here and get to talk about it with you guys. It's nicer to do this when you get to talk to friends than to talk to complete strangers where you feel uncomfortable. Right. So thank you.
But I know how cool this time is when you poured so much into a line that you haven't been able to talk about at all.
Exactly. Right? Absolutely.
That rush of opening it up and enjoying. It's not always positive, but that's okay. But just enjoying that feedback.
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
Really
and any
cool
feedback's
time.
good right now because I've been creating it. We've been creating this in a vacuum. So anything good or bad, it's like, oh, okay, perfect. Okay, well, we were kind of worried about that, and that's great that we heard that now. So it's all good stuff.
So we're getting down to close to time, Darren. Let's roll right into shout outs.
Sure.
Who do you want to shout out for this project, man?
Who worked on it,
or life in general, or just shout outs, man? Who you shouting out to?
The thing is, I don't, how sometimes people hold their talents close to the vest. They don't want to share them because they feel that the person's going to get exploited and never be able to work for them again. So Matt is the designer extraordinaire. Matt designed almost the visual look of every single figure in there, and Matt deserves all that credit. He is absolutely amazing. We're talking about Matt Smeltzer of the Wonder Twins of Chad Matted. Yeah, he's just outdone himself, but I'm really lucky in that he is absolutely not interested in doing any other toy lines except for ours. So I'm not worried about telling everybody about him. And Chad's been indispensable as he is the solver. Anytime we have a problem, minutes later, it's solved. He is the guy that we run every wild idea by, and he's like, he just has a solution for it immediately. So it's really been the three of us, and but we've had a lot of talented people. The website, I'd finished the website before I went to Toylanta and thought I'd launched it, and then I came home and realized that I'd messed something up. So it's not going to be up for 2 more days, but on the website we do have a page with links to every single person that helped, or it's a page of every single person that helped, and then links to how to get in touch with them if you want to hire them for your boutique line, because we want to see those guys, those very talented people, all get more work. So, yeah.
I just have to touch base again. Chad is, if you have a problem, he solves it. Does he also check out the beat while you DJ revolves it?
He does, amazingly enough. That song was written for him.
All right, excellent. You got anybody else there, Darren? Anybody outside of work? Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
There's stuff outside of work?
All right, fair enough. I got you there.
Yeah, I work 80 hours a week in a restaurant that I own, and I spend every other waking moment making toys. There's no one else in my life.
Right. Shout out to Locals.
Yeah. All right.
That's it.
Ragtime Rob.
Yes.
Shout it out.
All right. Shout out to the studio audience. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Shout out to Joe. We'll
Yeah,
see
bye,
soon.
Joe.
And Little Joe.
And Little Joe.
Wrist lock.
And the wrist lock.
Shout outs, Mark Weber.
It's pretty simple out here in Rhode Island. My favorite season is starting, soccer season. So to Coach Scott and Coach Alex, who will be coaching the Little Webbers this spring, God help you. And I'll be there rooting from the sidelines. So for Coach Scott, who coaches Elizabeth, and Coach Alex, who coaches Derek, good luck. And to Coach Rocky, who coached me, screw you, man. You're a rotten coach. That's all I got.
Man, gonna have people running after you like Tim Roberts.
Yeah, exactly right.
He was the enforcer.
I'll be honest with you. And I was not a fast guy ever. Tim Roberts ain't never catching me.
Nobody's fast on the ground, Mark. That's all.
That's it. That's my soccer mantra.
I'm gonna reiterate Ragtime Rob's thoughts. Thank you to our studio audience. If you're catching us on replay, thank you too. Be sure, regardless of where you're watching us, if you're on YouTube with us tonight, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share us on all your toy channels, especially since we got stuff for them all to take part in tonight with Legends of the Hidden Force. If you're catching us on the audio side of things, on Podbean or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get those, write us a review. We haven't had one of them in forever. 5 stars, no less than 5 stars. We're perfect, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Get over it.
Dave Meltzer gives us 8 stars.
Right.
Can I just realized I probably should plug my podcast.
Yeah.
Being that I've done it for 12 years.
Yeah.
I never think to, because I'm never a guest on someone else's.
That does a podcast that's been doing a podcast as long as we have.
Yeah. So we've been doing it for 12 years, and it's all about food. It's all about eating local and sourcing your own food and all of that great stuff and all the people that provide your food. So it's called the Edible Valley Podcast, and please check us out.
Is that wherever your podcasts are found?
It is. It's on every single platform.
There you go. You can Spotify that to your heart's content.
Thanks.
I want to give a shout out to our good friend Darren Howlett of Whiskey Jack Toys.
Thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
Give a shout out to, again, the Wrist Lock and Joe Colton and Baby Joe as we count down the final days until that particular figure premiere. And best of luck to them on that. We'll do our best to keep you posted. And that's to my co-hosts, to Ragtime Rob, to the honcho Mark Weber. And that's what we got this week.
Great. Thank you.
But be sure to join us next week. We'll be back Tuesday at 9 with another episode of What's on Joe Mind. I'm not sure quite what we're doing yet, but it'll be the 3 of us and another wonderful guest co-host. So if we've got you on that speed dial before, you may be hearing from us again.
Bye.
I lost my buttons. But here we go. But as our friend Vagon likes to say, be safe, and if you can't, be careful. Until then, have a great rest of the week. Enjoy your weekend. Be sure to come back for us next Tuesday night for another episode of What's on Joe Mind. Yo, Joe, everybody.
Thank you.